Last week, Conservatives continued the fight against a failed NDP-Liberal budget that adds $60 billion in new inflationary spending, even after the finance minister said that she didn't want to add fuel to the inflationary fire and that she was going to balance the budget by 2027. She did a massive flip-flop and poured a $60 billion jerry can of fuel to the fire of inflation and is projected to never balance the budget. Her failure is going to cost $4,200 in Liberal debt for every Canadian household. Conservatives tried all the procedural tools we could to stop this from passing the House. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre even asked Trudeau to cancel his summer tanning plans and come back to Parliament to rewrite the failed budget. Instead, Liberals and NDP MPs have voted to raise inflation, attack Canadians' paychecks, and pass this out-of-touch budget. Last week, the International Monetary Fund also released a report showing that Canada is the country most likely in the G7 to have a mortgage default crisis. Canadians now have as much household debt as the entire Canadian GDP, and nearly 75% of it is mortgage debt. The Bank of Canada raised interest rates for the 9th time in over a year, thanks to out-of-control Liberal spending causing inflation. This means Canadians already struggling to afford their mortgage or rent can expect to see their household costs increase even more.
So Justin, how do you expect people to pay their bills now?
Canadians are now more likely to default on mortgages, leaving our economy in a vulnerable position. It isn't surprising that a Liberal government who added more federal debt than every government before them combined would not care about Canadians not being able to afford to pay their mortgage or rent. Conservatives have a plan to clean up this mess. We will restore affordability so Canadians can afford gas, groceries, home heating, and to pay their mortgage or rent each month. We will get Canada's economy back on track by making this a tax-competitive country where investors want to invest in our businesses. And we will restart real private sector-driven economic growth so Canadians can have a good-paying job. We will restore common-sense policies for the common people. I also want to congratulate all the ministers appointed last week to the cabinet in Alberta. I know the people of my home province will be served well by these talented and hardworking ministers. Albertans elected another UCP majority government to stand up to the NDP-Liberal Costly Coalition and to restore affordability for the people.